Attention gamers, there's no doubt Riot has been hard at work lately. For example, the clever invitations they've sent for me to spend more money on their game where I can't even tell what champ the skin is for anymore. Or look at the latest rework they've completed. They really heard the community over the last 6 years asking for change, and boy has it been a fun ride seeing the Samsung Galaxy sperm cell of the Rift be transformed into whatever this is. But of all the recent changes, as someone who plays the strongest role in the game while constantly complaining about how weak it is, aka an ADC main, I am most interested in the latest round of crit item changes where these two suckers are seeing playtime much earlier into games. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Riot reduced the legal age at which you can buy one of these from 60 to 40, and this is having a big impact on the game. I'm seeing almost every ADC's build path change, with recommendations saying it should now come second from notable apps like FaceCheck. This sleek small window that provides pre-game match information during Champ Select, which offers me the easiest ways to set my rune summoners and even in-game builds with a single push of a button. You know, preventing those flash ghost with PTA Yumi whoopsies from happening. Once in-game, it provides a super quick scouting report of all the players that I've found to be pretty accurate. For example, it says this Kanye is quite the noob, and that indeed did pan out to be the case. Kiana is skilled but rusty, and judging by the fact that she definitely knew this should have been an easy dive but couldn't exactly cross her T's or dot her I's, I'm gonna say yeah, there was definitely a bit of rust. The app also said that I was rusty, but playing a right-click chick like MF kind of negates that, and you might be worried about a novice blind low win rate player, but you can always count on Riot's latest creation overriding any impact that skill has on the game. At the end of your hopeful stomp fest, the app provides you with a condensed post-game summary to kiss your ass in the places you popped off and to tell you gently where to focus on in the future. So all in all, I highly recommend FaceCheck cause it's free and you can get it using my link below. But anyways, everyone is focused on IE with these buffs, but if you use your eyeballs and brain together, you'll realize it isn't a huge buff to build it second. On the other hand, however, Navori has now been promoted to utter bullshit status, because with just 2 items now, champs like Ezreal can have their Q cooldown shorter than my average Coda session. So today I'm going to show how the new Navori is allowing ADCs to pop off and carry games earlier and harder than ever before. So sit back, relax, please slap the shit out of my subscribe button, and let's get into the games. Alright, so as I mentioned, the new Navori works the best on the blonde boy who shoots jizz fizzlers out of his fingertips, and I'm rocking a Tesla Blitzcrank as support in this one, so I request a self-driving uppercut, to which I put a ring on the bitch to keep her happy like a true misogynist, while I tunnel harder than a road under a mountain onto that midget ass beekeeper. Then I head back because Pretty Pistols is trying to have her way with my weaponized bidet, so we do a little cove tango. As I hit the heel, she lets out a squeal and I end the encounter undefeated. Our lane starts to feel empty, so we get a hunch that something may be up, and sure enough, that little honey keeping shitter is playing Bloons Tower Defense 6 in Dragon Pit, so my support is like, whoa there little fella, where the hell do you think you're going, as he drags their Heimerdinger back in by his pollen-filled anus. I tell Drag he makes a better door than a window, and we eventually lure the little one out to face his fate. Then my priority as ADC is still around genociding these little babies cosplaying as their Hogwarts Legacy characters, but I get a text from Blitz with the cucumber tear emojis next to a picture of a one-shot support, so I lend a celeb shot into the forest to get my blonde dick wet. So I'm over here calling a cab back to the shopping plaza to pick up some new shoes when Heimer is like in a world of constipation and diarrhea. It's okay to be a normal piece of shit, and hey look, it's a wild Ant Maranth too. We all briefly pucker our assholes to survive the gank, but it leaves Big Tits wounded, so when the first responders arrive, aka Kane, we run back in only for Blizzy to deep throat so much honey he turns gold himself, as I cautiously wait outside of Evelyn's utter bullshit range until it's safe to port and shove a fizzler tickler at her and claim my cash. Then my friends are all playing in River and I want to join, but my mother always said no playing till you finish your homicide homework, so I kill the caddy and then head over only to get intercepted by the sex ant. But I'm a married man, I can't be seen around strippers of any species, so I keep as much distance as I can. That is until the hooker grabs us a honey-covered Heimerdinger, which lures me out of celibacy, so he dies, and then the busty buccaneer who looks so good running away from me unfortunately has to get shit on as well. That said, someone needs to have a talk with their team's Evelyn and explain that her champ is supposed to surprise people, because she clearly didn't get the memo, but she's after my blizz, so I distract her and then inform her that she will not get the foam finger. I paid $39.99 for it at Disney on Ice, and she can ult all she wants. I don't take kindly to anyone who tries to steal such overpriced spongy possessions of mine. I now have my new Navori, which means my Q cooldown will be calling in sick for the rest of the game, and every time I see that big-titted pirate there's nothing stopping me from hitting a bursty boy combo that ends in a large banana jamma to finish her off.
Check out this leash I got for you too.
And I've heard Heimer supports are supposed to be good right now, but this particular one was always more out of place than a Kanye album being played in a synagogue, so he once again gets yanked and spanked before we rush south because Mr. Waternoose is chasing Boo all over bot lane, so we all run down and decide that we'll each take a leg until he eventually pisses off. Now once upon a time Riot wanted to rework a champ named Akali. They said yes, let's give her 69 dashes with nearly no cooldown so she can close any gap imaginable to man. Optimal gameplay for this champ will look like a grasshopper is ODing on Viagra until her 7th dash gets intercepted and we cut off her bullshit. But yeah, having almost no cooldowns on Ezreal after 2 items felt quite nice, and now I want to show another champ that I think it feels broken on as well. Tristana, the hopping homunculus in her Halloween garb, and the early plan was for me to be the little pixie proxy for Rakan to come flying out with an engage so smooth that baby's butt cheeks be real quiet right now to get us first blood. Then our menstrual cycles get thrown off as he goes in and then seemingly tags me in to go in right after as Morg is trying to do weird BDSM bullshit, so I blow her back, sit in a stun for a short eternity and then head back in to politely decline her bind invite, opting to kill her instead. Kate still thinks she can kill Mr. Tomness from Narnia, but Star Guardian Horsecock is in the area willing and able to assist passengers in the event of an emergency, so she too ends up getting shafted. At this point I'm what the people in the industry refer to as fed, which means there's no opportunity that I'll pass up. I'd do some cute shit on pool party Piltover trust fund baby, then I blast her, sit a stun and escape with style. Turns out our mid lane is more open than your average Garen main's mother's legs, so we do a bit of cleanup and then are met with quite a clever surprise in the shrubs, but I don't like surprises, so I have to bust out the quick hop goo Gucci flip flop fuck it hit your bitch and my socks combo to inform them not to do it again. I'm now full build, which means when some golden sword simp lord loser comes flashing in with bad intentions, I can full pop a pumpkin on his head and have it practically off cooldown already again, and then hold my W like it's a fart on a first date until it's just their support, so I make sure Morg describes both her name and her location while my support checks if he left his brain cells with his summoner spells. Then we head bot because apparently there's this funny clip of someone getting instant buyer's remorse on a teleport they just purchased, and I do have to say it was worth seeing, but I'm a late game ADC after all, so I have responsibilities to take care of. Which in this case means sitting in a Kate trap that I blindly walked into like a boosted moron. Floating a few autos to get kill credit and then finishing off the ace in the game, and to that I just want to say. Bye Navori, brush your teeth tonight, retain semen. Rav out.
With Rabby boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy.